Oh yeah, he's faster than bullets and trains and all things in consideration. Just the fastest. He's not Superman yet. He's only Superboy. This is a 1980 something, let me see, 1959, I was way off, adventure comic featuring Colossal the dog. Great Scott, Martha! Krypto's grown to a monstrous size, and Superboy can't even control him. Special Dog Edition Day. If you didn't notice, this is a very special Dog Edition Day. Okay, we're going back to the 80s. No, the 60s. No, well, it's kind of 60s because it's like July 1959. We're pushing 60. Woo! Adventure comic number 262. Wow. This is a classic. Super classic. I'm afraid to tear it because it's not in the best condition. Even though it was $20. It's still not in the best condition. But the edges are clean. Just got a little watermark right here down the middle. It's not like I'm trying to resell. I'm not making my own comic book store or nothing. Frightening cries ring out in Smallville. I'm Dog Life Chris, and this is NE1 Comics. Don't forget about the introductions, boy. Monstrous streaks through the sky. A flying monster streaks through the sky. Is it a pterodactyl? A flying dragon? And giant eagle? No, it's Krypto. What fantastic phenomenon has turned Superboy's pet dog into a monster size? And why does Krypto become a mad dog of steel and turn against the world? Superboy faces his most heartbreaking hour in The Colossal Superdog. How does Superman sound? He's a boy, though. Great guns! My dog Krypto has grown to monster size, and he's become a super menace. The Adventures of Superman when he was a boy. Look at this artwork, boys. Back in 1959. Come a long way from this times. In space one day, as Krypto, the Superdog, plays leapfrog amongst meteors on his way to Earth. It's time to visit my master, Superboy. This is a dog talking, by the way. In Smallville, two meteors are fused together. One of them is kryptonite. Its radiations are deadly to me and Superboy. Luckily, I was going at super speeds and jumped away before I was harmed. And the other meteor glows too, with rainbow rays, but they can't affect my invulnerable body. Poor Krypto, little does he know how this fateful combination of rays will amazingly change him later. Here's Smallville, and there's my master. My X-ray vision shows his super suit underneath his other clothes, and he'll be glad to see me. I was a good boy. You haven't found me. But look, Clark, it's Krypto. If he comes straight to you, it will mean you're Superboy, his master. Oh my gosh, Krypto is so eager to greet me, he forgot that it will expose my secret identity to Lana Lang. I have an idea. My super breath will seem like a gust of wind shaking the man's ladder, and his paint can falling. Krypto sees it. I must save my master's friend from having paint dumped all over her. Why, Krypto only came dashing here to help me, not to greet you, Clark. I noticed my master's secret trick to distract me. Foolishly, I nearly gave away his identity. I'll go away and meet him later. Yeah, silly Doge. Not supposed to come greet me every time you fly into space. Soon as Clark Kent changes to Superboy in seclusion. That means by himself. Hi, Krypto. Don't try and make up by licking me on my face to remind me that you sharply to remind you sharply to avoid Clark Kent hereafter. I must punish you. So, you can't join me as I seek the Scarlet Gang. Go home and do the right way. Don't make another dumb mistake. He means to bore underground and enter the Clark Kent's home secretly. Presently, where Mom Kent is hanging clothes. Yeep, yeep! Crypto's back for a visit. Go inside, and I'll feed you. Not that it ever makes you grow. You're such a small pooch. But shortly, Superboy's foster parents are startled when I fetched Dad Clint's sippers for him. Land sakes, Martha! Look, it's Crypto. He's getting bigger. He's become the size of a Saint Bernard, and he's busting out of that cape and collar. Only moments later, eek! Crypto is bigger than a horse now. His playful antics are wrecking the furniture. But why is he growing larger and larger before our very eyes? Unknown to them, the weird phenomenon result when Crypto encountered the two meteors fused together in outer space. Mingling with kryptonite rays were able to penetrate Krypton's invulnerable skin, and rainbow radiation also seeped into Crypto's body. Freakishly, they worked on his cells, causing him to expand into giant size when he entered the Earth's atmosphere. After dark, as Superboy fails to find the Scarlet Gang and returns from his patrols. Great guns! Is that Crypto? How did he get to be the size of a dinosaur? He smashed open the whole roof. Luckily, no one saw this in the dark, but people might investigate the noise. I'll repair the roof quickly. Meanwhile, Crypto, you fly into the sky. I'll meet you there later. Working at incredible super speed, repairs occupied the boy of steel, only for seconds. Isn't that fantastic, son? What in the world could make that invulnerable super dog grow so large? It must have been some super force he met in space, but now I'd better hide Crypto out of this town. He might become a menace unwittingly. Superboy's fears are realized as he seeks Crypto. Help! Help! A giant monster is after us! There's a blimp. Jeepers! Crypto thinks that thing is advertisement blimp painted like a sausage. He wants to eat it. Crunch! Crypto's bites a piercing gas bag, and the gondola ripped loose. I'll save the crew. You can hear it tearing. No, be careful. You can hear the paper tearing. This is what, 40, 50-year-old paper? It's all yellow. Gotta be gentle. After lowering the gondola safely, Superboy returns to reprimand the giant superdog, and he meets another shock. Crypto, come here. I must discipline you. Crypto, why are you growling at me with your jaws open wide? Superboy has no way of knowing that while the rainbow radiation caused super growth in Crypto, the kryptonite rays also struck his brain to give him space rabies. Yipes! Crypto is clamping his jaws shut on me. He's turned into a mad dog. Oh, Crypto is keeping his teeth closer and tighter like a vice. My super strength can't pry open his super jaws. I'm super trapped. A Rattata? I didn't know they had Pokemon back then. Kids. What? Kids run sticks along a picket fence to make them rattle. I'll do the same with Crypto's teeth, using my super hard fingers for the stick. That annoying super noise ringing in his head made Crypto open his jaws to get rid of me, but he's still growling at me. I'm not his master anymore. He chokes. I've lost my super pet. Heartbroken, Superboy returns home to meet new hope. Look, the collar and cape I once made for Crypto were too small and came off. Maybe a new giant cape will remind Superdog that he belongs to me. Oh, good idea, son. I'll bring the spare drapes I don't need. Careful. Shortly. Thanks, Mom. I'll sew them together with this giant needle I made. Then I'll thread the cloth chemically so that it becomes weatherproof, bulletproof, and fireproof. And you can weave these leather straps from my store into a giant collar. Shortly finding Crypto. Here, Crypto, I'll slip the giant collar and cape on you. Now, does that remind you that your master also wears a cape? Will you obey me now? Superboy gets his answer. Not a word, but actions. Great balls of fire! Crypto is bucking like a wild bronco, trying to shake me off. I'll hang on to the collar, and maybe I can tame him. He dove down to the sea bottom, to land with a super thump. Can I hang on? Now, he reared up into space, hoping to let the meteors knock me off his back, but I won't let go, I hope. Finally, yee! I ran down the mountain, then stopped dead. Don't die. That pitched me off. Oh. Finally, he ran down the mountain, then stopped dead. That pitched me off. He's too big and super strong for me to subdue. Mom and Dad can't understand when their super son comes home, and I'm no longer Crypto's master. In his mad dog condition, he lost all his love for me. Superman crying. Don't take this so hard, son. Maybe it will wear off by morning and Crypto will return to normal. You can patrol in the morning and find out. But Dad, Kent's hutch is wrong and sudden disaster strikes Smallville Lake in the next day. Good heavens! We heard about Crypto growing into a monster size. He came plunging into the lake for a swim, creating a huge wave. Oh, help! Shortly, as Superboy answered the call, or cries. Oh my gosh! It literally says O-M-I-G-O-S-H. Oh my gosh! Crypto is swimming around the lake, overturning the boats. He's too big and super strong for me to drag him out. How can I lure him away? I have an idea. Presently, along a nearby boardwalk of amusement. I'll borrow this replica of the Washington Monument and play a game with Crypto. That's all boys play with their dogs all boys play with their dogs at times. Replica of famous world structures. You can't just steal. He just stole the replica. Now, to hurl this monument into the air, as I hope Crypto is instinctively chasing it like a stick, and he won't catch up with it because I threw it into orbit around the Earth at super speeds. I'll watch with my telescope vision to see if that confuses Crypto. With my telescope. It did! Crypto shot past the monument, misjudging its speed. That'll keep him busy before he can figure out the curving orbit. Now I'll have time to repair the damage of the lake. Superboy finished. Superboy, the news about your giant superdog rampages has alarmed the authorities. The army has been ordered to destroy Crypto at all costs, with your permission. Well, no. Crypto is my pet, my dog. Maybe I can find a cure for his super rabies. But how? I can't think of any cures. But, meanwhile, as a mad dog, Crypto is a super menace to the world. All right, sir. I agree. Sorry you had to commend your own pet, Superboy. Can you obtain a large amount of kryptonite with which we can destroy Crypto? Don't do it! Searching for kryptonite yourself would be dangerous, son. Yes, Dad. Instead, I'll send 3 of my super robots. Nobody can see them in space as they search for the kryptonite meteor. But somebody does see them in space. He also says, "Oh my gosh, I forgot the Crypto is still up there. He just caught the monument stick, and now, like a mad dog, he is smashing my robots. They're made of super hard metal, but they're no match for his super strength." Shortly, Superboy leaves Smallville. It would take too long to make new robots to search space. But I just recalled that once I gave the War Department in Washington, D.C. a big kryptonite meteor to keep in its vaults for emergencies. Soon, in the vault. This is the emergency, Superboy. Take our kryptonite meteor. That laden box stops its radiations from harming you. Thanks, General. I'll have a munitions factory converted into kryptonite ammunition. Finally, at Camp Smallville, we'll be ready to fire these kryptonite shells in 1 hour, Superboy. Can you lure Crypto within the range of our guns? Now, I must betray my own pet to his death. Why? Heavy-hearted Superboy seeks the Colossal dog, and Crypto just dug up a dinosaur bone to chew on. I'll snatch it away and he'll follow me angrily. No, they're shooting him. Why? Why, Muno? They're gonna kill him. I led him over to the army camp. The big guns are pouring kryptonite shell fire at Crypto. His mind is dulled by the super rabies. Otherwise, Crypto would remember he can melt them with the heat of his X-ray vision. Keep firing! Crypto is weakening. When he falls to the ground, we'll finish him off. But as Crypto falls, great Scott! Because of his great weight, he smashed through the ground like a giant meteor. He'll be safe from our gunfire underground. Far below, Crypto recovers from his super strength, seething with rage. I'll dig my way beyond the army camp. Then I'll fire back at them with my own weapons. Oops. I'll burn up the camp now. Heat ray vision. Help! Crypto's giant eyes are shooting out X-ray beams that are 100 times more powerful than before. He'll wipe out our camp. Help! Swiftly, Superboy is on the job. I'll blow out the flames with my super breath. Then I'll try to make Crypto turn off his destructive X-ray vision. Seconds later, flashing toward Crypto, Superboy meets a shock. Crypto will snap at me and wait. And wait, I didn't move a muscle. Great guns! His super rabies reached its critical stage. He's paralyzed. Whoa. His paralyzed eyes are still open, pouring out this intense beam of vision. I can't shut it off. Only thing I can do is fly to the top of the mountain, and I popped him so that his X-ray beams are into the sky harmlessly. Propped. I propped him, not popped. I thought he actually hit the dog. I was like, what? Airplane routes don't pass this way. No one more. Now, one more sad task remains. I'm choking up. So, wait. It has an arrow. Oh my gosh! It has an arrow to tell me that I have to go down. Who would have thought you can navigate the reader's eyes with an arrow? Come on, the year 2020. Get with the program. It's literally an arrow showing me which box to read next. Doofy. I have to know now. Oh, I just ripped a staple. I just ripped a staple because of my excitement. It didn't say who is the writer of this book. Doesn't say. Whatever. Fine. Fine. I was going to shout out the writer because I was so happy that someone actually is paying attention to the reader's capabilities of keeping up with the screen or this frame. Hours later, as Mom and Dad can't seek out their son. Why didn't you come home, son? I stayed to make special shrine, Dad. Crypto can't actually die except from kryptonite. So Crypto will remain alive in a paralyzed stage. All I could do was make a living monument out of my former pet. He'll never meet me at home again? What? What? Poor Superboy. He's heartbroken. He's going up into space and he'll be alone in his hour of sorrow in memory of my pet, Superboy. Oh, that's not the end. I thought that was the end. I was literally gonna cry. Presently, in bitter loneliness. Medical science can't cure Crypto. All methods would fail because he's invulnerable to wonder drugs, surgeries, radiation treatments. Radiation, wait! I have an idea! Using super calculations, the Boy of Steel is able to backtrack along the path of Crypto, followed to first reach Earth. Crypto passed this meteor swarm, and perhaps this strange double-fused meteor started his super growth. I'll expose myself to the combination rays and see. Later, back at the monument on top of Mom and Dad. Atop with Mom and Dad can't. Where? Oh, they're down there. It's working, Dad! I'm expanding into giant size like Crypto. But why did you do it, son? What good is it? Plenty good, Dad. Now that my giant eyes have super intense X-ray vision equal to Crypto's, I remember that radiation, either from radium or X-ray machines, are used to cure patients in hospitals. Tense hours pass, but finally, it works. My super intense X-ray radiation treatment purged Crypto from his super rabies. He's moving, and he's also shrinking down to normal size. Yeah, got my dog back. I literally broke the staple. 50-year-old staple. It's all rusted. Shortly. Now, Crypto is the same friendly pooch as before. You saved Crypto, son, but your own sacrifice. Can you cure you? Crypto's normal X-ray vision wouldn't be as intense now. Oh, that's right, Mom. If I remain a giant for life, well, goodbye. Our son is doomed, and he may become the victim of some kind of maddening sickening like the super rabies, too. He's probably going to rush away from Earth before it happens and never return. Oh, dear. Later, Superboy, he's still on Earth. I borrowed lead plates from the metalworks to make 2 huge leaden mirrors. They reflect my super intense X-ray beams back to my body. The radiation are causing me to shrink already. just the way my X-ray vision shrunk Crypto. Presently, there is super joy in the Kent home. Is there any happier sight than a boy playing with his beloved dog, Martha? And that holds even with a Superboy and a super dog. Crypto was saved. Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys a couple of extras. We got BB. And I don't really know Sergeant Bilko. There's a lot of extras back here. We got an Aquaman. Aquaman's got a couple pages. On the oh, right here, Varsity Vic. Have to check this one out solo with the lights down low. Ooh, just kidding. The Green Arrow, and this is where it was the origins of Speedy come from this exact moment from the Green Arrow. I think there was like one more, but probably not. One more. Shorties. Back in the day when you got more than what you paid for. Dog Life Chris, NE1 Comics, The Adventure Comics, Super Dog and Superboy. This was a LiveDogLife Dog Edition for my company. I had to get us some dog comics going, and it happened months ago, and I hadn't read this. I was waiting for this special moment to read it. Shout out all the dog lovers out there. Go love on your poochie. Give him a nice little and we out this sucker.